Hi friends, I'm about to head out, so that's why I'm in workout clothes, but I really quickly wanted to sort of film this sort of clip, because tomorrow is March, and in March we have the Tropical Readathon, which I'm super excited about. I have already made my March TBR where I talk about the books that I might read in March, but since there are so many options, I'm not quite sure where to begin. So I thought that staying true to the brand, I would do a bit of randomization. So I have my Tropical Readathon TBR set up in my journal. What I will do is I will just use a random number generator from 1 to 16, and that will be the prompt that I need to fulfill first. That way it will be easier for me to pick a book, basically. Since I usually have an audiobook in parallel with a physical or ebook, I might need to pick 2 books or prompts or numbers for this thing. Let's just try it out. We're gonna do from 1 to 16 because there are 16 challenges in total. I'm just gonna generate a number. So clicking now. 6. I have my setup here and I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blast from the past. And here I have The World's Best Man, which is perfect because this is one of the books I have on Scribd as an audiobook, so this will be my first audiobook in March. Now I want a physical book as well. I'm gonna do this number generation again, and we're gonna have to see. Clicking now. 1. Well, the first one is absent/dead parents. And my options are either Shadow and Bone or Harry Potter. I think I'm gonna go with Shadow and Bone, because as I've said multiple times, I really want to read this one in March, so I'm prepared for April when the show comes. Yesterday the trailer was released and it looks so cool. I had no idea what's going on, but those 6 seconds with the crows, I loved. And the show in general looks really good, but I have no clue what the Darkling is, or the Shadowfold and that ship and a map maker. I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited to find out. I'm gonna go with Shadow and Bone. I'm gonna start reading it tomorrow. And perhaps this will be my Shadow and Bone vlog. I'm excited! Let's do this! My first 2 books of March will be The World's Best Man and Shadow and Bone. Hi there! So, it's about time for me to start and really get into this Tropical Readathon that I'm so excited about. I had an involuntary day working from home because I got to my office, I realized that I had forgotten my laptop, and I went straight back home. But during the time, I listened to The World's Best Man. But now, the thing we're all truly here for, that we are excited about, it's about time for me to start reading. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. First book in the Grishaverse series, and I haven't read the series. I have read Six of Crows, both books in that duology, but I have not read the Grishaverse, and I want to understand what the heck I'm getting myself into once the show starts. I'm gonna start reading that one, and I'm also determined to make this a thing, so I'm going to annotate and tab it. I haven't yet decided quite how to tab it, and Nicole did recommend that I tab when they mention magic stuff, because it's easier to understand, I guess. The thing is, I don't know anything about the series. I've heard words. I know there's a Darkling, I know there's a man, I know there's something called a Shadowfold, and Alina, and stuff. I haven't even been spoiled about this show, and the bookmark I'm using is my Edward Cullen bookmark because I thought it would be fitting for some reason. I guess it's toxic YA, right? Yeah, I'm actually super excited about this one. I'm hoping to get quite a good chunk done today already, at least 100 pages would be nice. So I'm just gonna get to reading now. I really want to get into this one.
I don't have cable, but I'm willing and able to watch what's on your mind. I find I waste my time the best when I lose control of the remote, staring steady at the channels, giving up on intuition.
So, I've started Shadow and Bone. I'm currently on page 48, and I already have some tabs and opinions and stuff. It's fast paced and I like that, and I have also already caught up to the trailer basically, so I finally understand what the Shadowfold is, and I finally understand the intro to the book, I guess. I had a completely different idea of what this book was. Some interesting things that I have tabbed. On the first page there are praise for Shadow and Bone, and one of the quotes or like praises is the following. A New York Times bestseller. It's like The Hunger Games meets Potter meets Twilight meets Lord of the Rings meets Game of Thrones. Epic magical fantasy, but completely for grown-ups. That's a pretty bold statement, and I'm doubting everything about this, all of these comparisons, and also that it's for grown-ups, because this is YA, from what I gather, it's YA. We're gonna have to see if it's like Hunger Games or Twilight or Potter or Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. I think many would have things to say against that. Bold statement to open up with. I've been trying to tab like the magic stuff and like a bit of the world building things. So I've gotten to know Alina, I've gotten to know Mal, and I've also met the Darkling. One interesting thing, at one point in the book they talk about a Darkling, like there once was a Darkling. So there are multiple Darklings. I thought it was just the Darkling. Or perhaps it's just one Darkling at a time then? But still, I thought it was the Darkling. One person, solo, only, singular. But apparently there are multiple Darklings, which I had no clue about. I do enjoy the moments between Mal and Alina. I think they're really nice. I love like these sorts of like best friendships when they rely on each other and can like tease each other. I really do appreciate that. I think I'm gonna aim for at least 100 pages today. If I'm already almost 50 pages in, I can definitely do more. I am enjoying it. But like the story has barely started, so I have a long way to go, but I'm excited about it. So, I got back home from work in about 1 hour. I'm going to the gym, but that gives me some time to continue to read Shadow and Bone. Yesterday I stopped on page 117, which is 7 chapters in, so I'm about a third of the book through already, which is quite cool. I have also continued to listen to The Worst Best Man today. On that one I'm like 65% through that one, so I think I might be able to finish it tomorrow. Although, I don't like the male narrator. I really don't. His voice is okay. He does Max's voice because he's the narrator when the book is written from Max's perspective. But when he does like other characters' voices, it's not good, especially female voices or women voices. No. And then there was a sex scene. And like half of the sex scene was from Max's perspective, and then I had to listen to this narrator that I don't enjoy narrate a sex scene. And it was so gross. Like the sex scene itself wasn't gross, because I had heard the first half from Lina's point of view. But hearing it from Max's with that narrator, no, it had the opposite effect. Let's just say that. It didn't work. I wanted to skip it, and I never skip like books or audiobooks or anything like that. I never skip. But I was this close to just clicking the arrow to get to the next chapter of the book. I'm gonna continue with Shadow and Bone. I'm kind of into it, like I'm not completely sold yet, but I am into the story and I am having a good time reading it. Yeah, let's just get to reading because I'm gonna have to leave in like 50-40 minutes. I just got back home from work. It's Wednesday, March 3rd. I finished listening to my first book this month, which was The World's Best Man. And this was for the prompt in the Tropical Readathon of reading a book with the trope blast from the past. It was alright. I think I enjoyed it. I'm thinking about giving it 3.5 stars. It was quite good. I've already said this. I did not enjoy the male narrator, and I didn't really enjoy Max's perspective. Probably because of the narrator. I did enjoy Max when he was told from Lena's perspective, but I didn't enjoy Max from Max's perspective. I really liked Lena. Lena was great. So finished listening to that one. So that's my first prompt ticked off. The plan is to try and finish Shadow and Bone tonight. I have about 100 pages left of the, I guess like the original story or something. I'm on page like almost 200, and I think the story is 300 pages, because after 300 pages we get the acknowledgements. Then there's this part that doesn't have page counts that I'm so confused by. And there's like letters, and then it's The Tailor by Leigh Bardugo. And I'm not sure if it's like excerpts from like one of the companion books to the Grishaverse. I'm not sure what it is. I guess I'll find out by reading. We're gonna have to see. I'm considering it to be 300 pages long, the actual book. Like the actual Alina story. I will read all of the pages, even like the Taylor part and the letters, because perhaps it's good for me to know in the future. Things have developed in Shadow and Bone. I'm surprised by how present the Darkling is. I don't know, he felt like that sort of character that you wouldn't really read that much about, or like that Alina wouldn't meet that much, at least in the first book. Things are definitely developing quicker than I expect them to. I do enjoy the world and the magic system. I enjoy Alina as a character. I have completed 2/3 of the book. If this was a standalone, that wouldn't work, because nothing has really happened, or like things are happening, but it's more like build up to the second and third book, I would guess. If we compare to Six of Crows, the Six of Crows book, the first book in that duology, that could be a entire movie on its own. There's a plot, there's a story, but there's also characters. This one, there's just a lot of build up, like she's still training. It's still a training montage going. I don't mind, because I know that there are 2 more books, but if I didn't know that there were 2 more books to this story and I read this book not knowing if there would ever be more, I probably would be a bit disappointed. I might also add that once I completed The World's Best Man, I was still in my car, so I started listening to a new book, and this time I started listening to Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. And this is for the prompt of reading a book with a historical figure in it. Yes, I'm still talking about the Tropical Readathon prompts, because that's my main goal this month. So all my book choices will be based off of those prompts. I've listened to almost 2 chapters, like an hour of it. I'm very confused. I'm so lost. I have no idea what's going on, especially the first chapter. The second chapter I'm kind of catching up, but that's my update. This vlog will be a mess. It's just time for me to do some freaking speed reading, because I want to get this book done. I'm currently on page 224. Oh, that's worse than I thought. If I want to complete the actual book, I need to read like 80, 90 pages more. I just want to get this done. Last night I did finish Shadow and Bone, and I read the entire thing, so even the extra parts, and I realized that it says here exclusive bonus materials inside. So had I just read the back, I would have understood why it was 50 pages longer. I finished it. I'm conflicted. I really enjoyed the first 200 or something pages of the book. The last like 80, 90 pages, the pacing was a bit weird. Like the entire stag thing, it was just too long and like a bit too boring. Everything was so fast paced. And then they were in the woods for like months, and nothing really happened. And like the last chapter was extremely fast paced compared to that. So it was just a bit off in that way. I also want to say that it's good that this is a trilogy, because on its own this book isn't really that strong. Basically I felt like this book is just lacking. Like lacking in the most way. It lacks in action, in character development, or it's not that it lacks, but it would have benefited so much from just adding more, like more action, more character development, more relationships, more intrigue, more conflict, more world building, more magic system, everything. Add more. I wanted more. And that's why I'm saying that it's good that this is a trilogy, because the second and the third book should add this to the story. Otherwise, I will be disappointed. In itself, the book is quite short too. Even though it's a YA book, I do think it's quite short for a fantasy where you want to build a world. If she had expanded this like a 400-page book, I think it would have been better. So for the characters, I don't really have that many opinions about them. I think I like Alina. I like the girls in this book. Regarding the like Mal versus the Darkling thing, I have no clue. Honestly, I'm kind of just like mellow with both of them, or I don't have any strong feelings. I think Ben Barnes as the Darkling will be amazing, but like the Darkling here, don't really think that much of him at the moment. Nothing bad, but nothing good. Mal though, the thing I enjoy with Mal is the way that Alina views Mal. Because we know how Alina feels about Mal, what she knows about him and such, and because we see Mal through Alina's eyes, I like Mal. So I think that might be the reason. And also I'm always weak for a good like guy-girl friendship, best friendship. I'm always up for that. So I did finish that one, and with that I have completed 2 challenges in the Tropical Readathon. Today I continue listening to Wolfhall. It didn't go so well. I'm so confused. There's just a lot of characters, a lot of history, and like I'm listening to the book and I have no clue who's talking, what's happening, what the events are, who the characters are. No clue. So I actually decided to DNF it for now. I think it would be an interesting book to get to at some point, but maybe not as an audiobook. Perhaps I do need to read it like as a physical book. I'm gonna have to find another book for that historical character prompt. Instead I started listening to All Systems Red by Martha Wells for the AI challenge. I'm like halfway through. It's a very short audiobook. It's like 3 or 4 hours. I will finish it tomorrow, I guess. I thought it would be more exciting reading Shadow and Bone, but I didn't really have any like major reactions reading it. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy I read it. I'm catching up and understanding everything before the show. So like even now, just having read the first book, I understand so much more. Like it makes sense now. The trailer makes sense. It didn't when I watched it the first time. I think that's that. I need to get ready. See you later.
Don't think about what comes